Hello everybody, my name is Dorotea and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this lovely baby bonnet. The tutorial is very simple and beginner friendly, so even though the stitch pattern looks very delicate and maybe complicated, I promise you it's not. It's actually super easy to make and can be a great beginner project. As always, you can find the pattern in a written format on my blog crobypatterns.com. It's available in size 0 to 6 months, and you can also find a beautiful PDF pattern with an additional size in my shops on Etsy, Ravelry, and Love Crochet. We are going to start with the bonnet. We are going to work in rounds first and later rows starting from the back of the hat up to the front. That part is made in one piece, and then we are going to add a strap that goes around the bottom of the bonnet. Let me show you what you will need for this project. I'm going to be using 100% cotton yarn from Yarn and Colors in a shade Old Pink. This yarn comes in a skein of 50 grams and 75 meters or 1.75 ounces and 82 yards, which is a perfect amount for one bonnet in a size 0 to 6 months. In addition to that, you're going to need 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and 2 stitch markers. Alright, now that you know what you will need, let's start with the tutorial. We are going to start with a magic ring. Wrap the yarn around your fingers. Secure the loop with 2 chains, which are at the same time also our turning chain, but they don't count as stitches in the pattern. They are there just to lift the round to a proper height. When you have that, work 10 double crochet stitches into the magic ring. To create a double crochet stitch, wrap the yarn around your hook, insert the hook into the loop, yarn over and pull the loop through, yarn over again and pull the loop through first 2 loops on your crochet hook, and then yarn over again and pull the loop through the remaining loops on your crochet hook. And that's your first double crochet stitch. If you use stitch markers, then insert your stitch marker into the very first stitch of the row, so this first double crochet stitch, and then create 9 more double crochet stitches. When you have all 10 double crochet stitches, pull the yarn tail and close the magic ring. Then insert the hook into the stitch marked with a stitch marker, if you use the stitch marker, sew your first stitch of the round and join the round with a slip stitch. Just insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull the loop through all the loops on your hook. Perfect! Your first round is now complete. Let's start with the second one. Create a turning chain made of 2 chains. Then work 2 double crochet stitches into each stitch all the way around. So 2 double crochet stitches into each of next 10 stitches. And that will give you 20 stitches in total in your round 2. Skip the slip stitch from the row below and join the round with a slip stitch. Create a turning chain made of 2 chains. Start in the same stitch and work 2 double crochet stitches into the same stitch, 1 double crochet stitch into the next one, and repeat the whole sequence 10 times. Then skip the slip stitch from the row below and join the round with a new slip stitch. If the fabric is not entirely flat at this point, that's perfectly fine. That's how it's supposed to be. The back of the hat is not entirely flat either, so that's fine. Create a turning chain made of 2 chains again, then start repeating 2 double crochet stitches into the same stitch, 1 double crochet into next 2 stitches. Repeat the whole sequence 10 times in total, and that will give you 40 stitches. Then join the round with a slip stitch. When you complete that, continue with row 5. Like at the beginning of every round, create a turning chain made of 2 chains again, then start repeating 2 double crochet stitches made into the same stitch, 1 double crochet stitch into next 3 stitches, and repeat the whole sequence 10 times in total. That will give you 50 stitches. Then join the round with the slip stitch. So if you are working on a size 0 to 6 months, then this is going to be your last round. Because after completing round 5, we are going to continue our work by working in rows and not rounds anymore. The only difference between working in rows and rounds is that with rows you don't need to make any slip stitches, and you have to turn your work at the end of the row to make and start a new row. If you're working on a size 0 to 6 months, then this is your last round. And if you're working on a size 6 to 12 months, then pause the video here, follow the written instructions for a bit. Those can be found only in PDF version, and come back when the instructions are telling you to start working in rows. I'm just going to continue with the row round count. So even though this is our first row, we are going to call it row 6, and before that was round 5. So start your first row with 2 chains. This is going to be a turning chain. Start in the very first stitch and create a double crochet stitch. After that, skip 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet stitches, 1 chain and 2 double crochet stitches again into the same stitch. Skip 2 stitches and work 1 double crochet into the next one. This first part, so skip 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet stitches, 1 chain, 2 double crochet stitches again, skip 2 is marked as CL in the pattern. Which is just an abbreviation for the cluster stitch. Cluster stitch is just another name for a set of stitches that you work across an equal number of stitches from the row below. And that is exactly what we are going to do here. We will skip 2 stitches at the beginning and 2 stitches at the end, and then work a set of 5 stitches into 1 stitch. I hope this makes sense. So when you complete this part, so part with skip 2, work 2 double crochet stitches, 1 chain and 2 double crochet stitches again into the same stitch, skip 2 stitches and work 1 double crochet into the next one. So when you complete that, repeat the sequence 7 more times. Skip the very last stitch of the row. You could potentially repeat row 6 more times and finish, but I'm going to add more texture to that, so I'm going to implement post crochet stitches into the pattern. Turn the row, create a turning chain made of 2 chains, then work 1 double crochet into the first one, place the stitch marker into your first stitch, after that, start repeating skip 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet stitches, 1 chain and 2 double crochet stitches again into the same stitch. Then after that, skip 2 stitches and work 1 back post double crochet around the next one. Repeat the whole sequence 7 times altogether. Post crochet stitches are very similar to the normal ones, just that you insert the hook from the front or from the back. Depends on the stitch you are making, and then around the stitch instead of working into the loops on the top of the stitch like you usually do. Back post double crochet stitch is made with the hook coming from the back around the stitch, and then yarn over and create a double crochet as you would normally do, and you always do that around the double crochet stitch from the row below. A couple of stitches left. Now work a cluster stitch first, so skip first 2, then work 2 double crochet stitches, 1 chain and again 2 double crochet stitches into the same stitch, and skip 2 stitches after that, then work 1 double crochet stitch into the very last stitch of this row. Perfect. When you have that, start with row 8. Row 8 is very similar to row 7, the only difference between those two is in post stitches. The pattern is almost the same as the pattern for row 7, just that the back post double crochet stitches are in this row switched with front post double crochet stitches. So let's start with row 8. Chain 2 to lift the row to a proper height, then work 1 double crochet into the first one. After that, start repeating skip 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet, 1 chain, 2 double crochet stitches again into the same stitch, and after that skip 2 stitches and work 1 front post double crochet around the next one. Repeat the whole sequence 7 times altogether. Front post double crochet stitch is made with the hook coming from the front around the stitch, and then yarn over and create a double crochet stitch as you would normally do. When you have that, create a cluster stitch, so skip 2, work 2 double crochet stitches, 1 chain and 2 double crochet stitches again, skip next 2 and then work 1 double crochet stitch into the very last stitch of the row. Repeat rows 7 and 8 2 more times, or as many times as written in the pattern for the size you are making. You can pause the video here, go and finish all the rows and then come back to learn how to make a strap. Now that all the rows are complete, take a small amount of yarn and create a chain made of 42 chains. Attach the chain to the bonnet with a single crochet stitch made into the very last stitch on the bonnet. After that, work 2 single crochet stitches into each double crochet stitch, one at the beginning and one to the middle of the stitch, with an exception of the stitch on the back of the bonnet, the skip stitch from row 6, if you remember, where you have to work 2 single crochet stitches into the same stitch. When you complete that, chain 43, turn your chain and start in the second chain from the hook. Now work into back bumps only. I know that it can be hard to grab that loop on the back, but the strap comes out much nicer if you do that. If you can't reach or grab the loop on the back, then you can also work around any loop on the chain. Just make sure you're consistent with your stitches and you're working around the same loop all the way across the chain. Work 1 slip stitch into each of 42 chains. After that, work 1 single crochet into each single crochet from the row below. That should be around 30 or as many written in the pattern. When you have that, work 1 slip stitch into each chain all the way to the end of the chain. Cut the yarn, fasten off, and hide both yarn tails between the stitches. Okay guys, that would be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope this tutorial was helpful to you and you've learned something new today. Join our crochet family here on YouTube by clicking on button subscribe. You can also turn on post notifications and you will get notified every time I post something new. A big thank you to all of you who are buying my PDF crochet patterns and support me that way. With your help, I can work on new projects, film more videos, and share new patterns with all of you. Thank you guys, it really means a lot. Have a beautiful week and I see you guys very soon. Bye!